Hey there, guys. Today we are going to be talking about the spoken word poetry assignment that you can do as part of your semester one makeup. So, this was an assignment that I wanted to design because it combined kind of two units that had been created between my class and Mr. Bush's class. One of at the beginning of the year, you either did poetry or you did a little bit of social justice, like a social justice writing. So this one kind of combines the two and has a little bit of both aspects in it. So what I've done is I've created a form for you to fill out about a spoken word poem. So this poem is called Beach Bodies, and it has two performers and writers. And if you click right here, you can follow the YouTube video to see this amazing poem, which you will need to do as part of this assignment. I just realized I didn't do it, so I'm going to do it right after I film this video. I'll attach a copy of the words for you to where you can follow along. I'll put it up there with the YouTube video. But what you guys are going to do is you're going to analyze this poem a little bit. You're going to look at this poem and understand a little bit more about it. So the first thing is that I've picked out some metaphors that show up in this poem. And I want you to tell me, what does that metaphor mean? And this kind of goes into poetry, but also kind of into that microfiction unit that we were doing as well. So you can use some of that knowledge from the microfiction unit as well to be able to check these out. We've got zipping up my insecurities, Haagen-Dazs as a morphine cylinder, sweat is a masculinity quote. What you can do is, if you're having any trouble understanding why Haagen-Dazs might be a morphine cylinder, or why he might be trying to zip up his insecurities like this coat I have on, feel free to Google things. Use Google to your advantage here. You can always use Google to help you out, or feel free to shoot me a message and I'll help you work through each of these individual ones. But remember that a metaphor is comparing something to something that it's not. So I look at Haagen-Dazs as a morphine cylinder. That is a great one to start. So I'm going to use this as our example one right now. Haagen-Dazs is a type of ice cream. It's ice cream, right? And it's being used as a morphine cylinder. Morphine is a drug that is supposed to kind of get you activated. Let's Google morphine real quick, just because that's a little bit better. It's used to treat moderate to severe pain. So it's basically like, think about taking an ibuprofen. It's a more serious version of that. So this morphine is coming from ice cream. Instead of using actual literal morphine, he's saying his version of morphine is Haagen-Dazs ice cream. That makes me think about like girls sitting in bed after they get broken up with, watching sappy rom-coms and just shoveling ice cream into their mouth. It's that. So that's what you can explain. He's using ice cream as a way to heal himself in this sense. So there's one for you. There's an answer for you. You're welcome. But that'll help you to be able to think about all of these things that come up with all of the metaphors here. So there's 5 metaphors for you to look at. Just explain them in the box. And then what we're going to look at is, how did these poets, Fazania, I think is how you pronounce it, and Baralaga, I have no idea how to pronounce their names, but I think they're gorgeous, use their tone and voice to make their points. So they go through and they talk in all kinds of ways, and you'll see them move all funny and do all of these things. But what's the point of it, right? Like, what could they be doing with their voice going up and down to be able to explain? What's the point of them doing that? For this question, I would recommend looking at, when are they talking more serious and when are they talking like more fun and going like this, right? The next thing is, how do they use their body language in the last portion of the poem? So just the last little bit of the poem, we see a lot of movement. Same exact thing as what I was talking about earlier. Check out when they're moving and when they're not, maybe how they're moving, because that will help to make their point. And then lastly, what is their point? What do you think is the point of this poem called Beach Bodies? What are they trying to get across about beach bodies in this sense, based on them? Um, the last question is a very open one, but I want you to answer in a full paragraph. It's just a response to the poem. So you can reflect on how you felt about the poem, how you felt about their presentation, if you think that they really got their point across. Whatever you want about the poem, you can put into this response, as long as it's a paragraph. Make it a paragraph, 5 to 7 sentences. I want to see you really write a full paragraph about this and be able to get it done. So that is our assignment for this one. I think it's a really, really cool one. If you have any trouble, as usual, reach out to me. I am happy to help.